everyone. Just wanted to jump in real quick before we get started and say a quick thank you to all my patrons on Patreon. Thank you for supporting this class, and I look forward to creating new videos and new content with your support. So thank you very much. Your name should be appearing in this general area right now. Thanks. Okay, so we'll jump into lesson 19, and we'll start with Eric. Eric, do you want to take the first four?
Sure, I'll give it a try. Pone et tu mor em pejoy erof. It's kind of a weird sentence. The stone, literally, which they tie their ship to it, the stone to which they tie their ship.
Yeah, it is kind of weird. Alan always says in his classes that like the thing that makes relative clauses in Egyptian so confusing is that they are like so logical, and pretty much whatever language you're learning Egyptian in, you're used to relative clauses that in your native language are just super weird and cause the whole sentence to restructure itself. Egyptian doesn't. Egyptian just says the stone which they tied the boat to it. It's actually very it's very logical and simple. If you want to make a relative clause, just put the word which and then say whatever you're going to say about that thing.
I like the structure. I just couldn't imagine tying a boat to a stone. But
I see. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
So anyway,
actually, it makes sense.
Could it also mean rock?
Oh, it does. Okay. Hey, I live in a desert. What can I say?
What's the difference between stone and rock?
You got me.
Rocks can be bigger than stones.
Oh.
Rocks can be big enough to tie a ship to.
Should be rock.
Maybe it is for something like let me look. Anchor, yeah, it's maybe using for anchor.
Okay,
there's a word for anchor, I think.
I mean, as I know, in Mersagawasis, maybe you know,
yeah,
it's an ancient part of Red Sea from time of Middle Kingdom. There is a couple of, or I don't know how much, stone anchor, something like.
Oh yeah, they're very common actually. They're found all over Red Sea and Mediterranean. Just like a rectangular stone with a hole in the middle.
Yeah,
found all over the place. Yeah, maybe that's what it means.
That's good. I wasn't thinking that way. So Pajome en Tuashef. So literally the book which I desire it. So the book which I desire.
Yeah, the book I want.
So pehoite etef et emof hioof.
You're reading this letter as et, but it's D.
Oh,
it's T-I.
So etf T? It's T-I.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks.
T-I, like the rapper, actually. If that helps.
The cloak, yes. The cloak, literally, which he puts it on, the cloak which he puts on, which he's putting on.
Yeah. Again, I really want to insist that we translate this word as hyena. But one of the students in the previous class pointed out entirely correctly that the word hoita, when it means hyena, is feminine, and the word hoita, when it means cloak, is masculine. So that's technically not correct, but I think we can just fudge it and have like a male hyena, and we can say that this means the hyena which he places upon himself. If you want,
That's harder than the stone sentence, but I can live with that.
Okay.
Pesheko etu non ochek erof. The prison, and this is a future relative, I hope. The prison into which they will cast you.
Good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The prison they're going to throw you in. Good. Okay. Great job, Eric. Joe, would you like to take 4 sentences?
Sure thing. Hey, everybody.
Hey, Joe. I like how you conveniently have a background where there are rocks to which someone might tie a boat. It's very helpful.
There you go. I think this one even is an arch. Yeah.
There,
Oh,
So you could
wow.
tie your boat around the one side there.
Yeah, you'd have to swim around with the rope, but then you get like a really secure anchor point there. Where is that?
That is Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore, about an hour to the east of here, up on Lake Superior.
Oh, wow. Beautiful place.
Yeah, really nice boat tour. It's about 3 hours long, and kayakers ride around you and drive through the arch. It's really cool.
Yeah.
All right, number 5. Pama'u et much penjoy. That would be the water which fills our ship.
Yeah. And it could be which is filling, like if we're in like a emergency situation, it's the water that's filling our ship. Or it could be the water that fills our ship. It could be kind of adjectival. This could mean something like bilge water. That relative construction, we haven't talked about this a lot, but this relative construction is very often used to construct phrases where English would use an adjective. Probably the most common is pneuma et wav, the Holy Spirit, which is literally the spirit which is being holy. So yeah, so it could be the boat filling water, if you like. Either way.
Okay. All right. Number 6, in Roma et napot epigae. That would be the men who napot will flee to the desert.
Good. Yeah, I like the use of flee there. More generally, it could just be run, but like in this case, because of the context, probably flee is a good translation.
Number 7, tekora etenhetes. I'm sorry, I expected more there. Tekora etenhetes. Nahatis. There we go. The land, the land which we are in it.
Yeah, good. And land is fine for kora. It's a word that really doesn't have a great English translation. I would say this is one of those words that you can actually just keep. You could keep it as kora, so the kora which we are in it. For the pronunciation of this, it's a little difficult because Coptic, throws N's around so much. But I think in this case, it really should be like et enen hatus. I think you have to say the N twice. Otherwise, you can't really hear. If you only say one N, you have the land which is in it, and the it is like some other thing. So yeah, you kind of need to say the N twice, otherwise it doesn't come across clearly. Anyway.
Oh, great. Okay, thanks. And number 8, net nawahu nsof. That would be those who, that was the easy part. Those who will dwell or settle, nsof would be behind it.
Yeah, but it's not, I mean, it is dwell or settle, but it's actually the transitive form of that verb. Those who will wahoo. Wahoo.
Wahoo. Settle them or settle themselves.
Yeah, exactly. And then this idiom, so wo in sa as an idiom means to follow someone.
Oh, okay. So those who will follow him.
Yeah, good. Those who will follow him. All right.
Good.
If anybody has questions at any time, jump in.
Could we go back to 7 for a second,
Sure.
please? I see, I guess, the relative converter, and then I see a preposition. Is this at, where is the we?
Here,
Aha. Oh,
it's
good.
N in hatus. So you could have, you could theoretically have et in hatus, and this would mean like which is in it, but with no pronoun here, it means that the antecedent has to be the same. So it would be the coda, which is in something, right? The coda, which is in it. But in this case, we have, an actual N in here. So that means it's us. It adds the us in there.
So this is an adverbial phrase in the relative clause. It's basically preposition and or am I missing the verb?
No, you're not. So yeah, this is a adverbial sentence. Oops. We could say ten in hatus. We are in it.
Thank you. It's becoming clear.
Yeah, and then when you put et, these just merge into one T. So you get eten.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, good question. Okay. How about 9 through 12? And Ralph.
Sure. Tepistele te nasa emos na sharok. So the letter which I'm going to write you.
Yeah, what's the difference between sharok and nak?
Nak. So Sharo is more directly towards the person, I think. Whereas
Actually,
knock,
other way around.
it's the other way around. Really?
Mm. Knock is more immediate and direct, and sharok is more like kind of adding a little distance.
Okay. Sort of towards the person instead of for them or directly to them. Is that the idea?
Yeah. This is actually going to be hard. I think this is one that like you can't necessarily derive from what I've just told you. The sharok is a little more formal. It's adding a bit of deference to the receiver of the letter. Whereas knock would be like if you were sending it to a friend, sharok is like you're sending it to a superior or something. So when you see that preposition, the sha preposition, it normally adds like a tiny bit of like deferential language. Okay.
Okay. Tehie etu Moshe hios, the road which they walk along.
Yeah. The road which they walk upon it. Good. That reminds me of the song The Way. I don't know if y'all remember that song. It was like hugely popular in like 1997 or something. But I didn't think of it before, so I didn't put a link to it. But I'll go put one in after, so you can go listen to that song too.
I'm not even I'm not even born that year.
So you've never heard this song? It's
Probably,
decent
yeah.
song. I think they were from like the Dallas area, and there was like a true story of these this like older couple who like pulled a Thelma and Louise. Like they just like got into their car and just disappeared, and no one ever saw them again. So it's like hypothesized that they just like rode off into the sunset somehow. I think the song's about that. It's a cool song. I'll put a link to it after class, so you can go have a listen. Anyway. Number 11.
Right. Pesa ete enteten son emof an. So the teacher which you plural don't know him.
Yeah, good.
The teacher you don't know.
The teacher you don't know. The teacher y'all don't know. Okay, and number 12.
Net na haratu impefemto ebol. Those who will stand in his presence.
Yeah, good. Do you want to analyze? So I'll separate this, and then I'm going to break this up. Do you want to analyze this? Oops.
Wrong place. There we go. So net is the definite article, plural definite article plus the relative. So those, so substantivizing the relative clause. So those who. Na is the future particle. So those who will. Ahe is place, I think. And rat is feet. And u
Yeah.
is a possessive suffix pronoun. So they will place their feet.
Yeah, good. I'm writing it in
then-
hieroglyphs in case we want this.
Awesome.
Oh, I left out a classifier. Yeah. So this is two words. It's from the old word like aha, that means to stand, and then oops, wait, undo.
And I think is a preposition too. They stand to their feet, or with respect to their feet.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Isn't
So
the
maybe it's
at the end
ah.
of ahe also it's rat.
I thought it was because this word originally ended in a pharyngeal that becomes a glottal stop.
Ah,
So I think it does protect the vowel in the verb because it's a triliteral verb. So it probably would have had a vowel in it that might be protected, but it, you know, if there were a,
an
well,
a
we would
would
probably see it.
merge probably.
We would see it though. We would see it here in hieroglyphs. It would be written with the R
Right.
because it's the eh, but it's really er with a R that isn't pronounced when it's by itself.
Okay. Maybe
Yeah,
not then.
there we go. Maybe not. I don't know. It's a good question. Okay, putting that back. Clear my little crappy hieroglyphs. And 13 through 16. Rasmus.
This is Eric again. I'm sorry. Can I ask
Sure.
a basic question on 11? And I had this problem with the examples on page 77 in the book. Maybe I'm misunderstanding how to negate a relative. I thought it was n plus on, but I'm not finding the n.
No, N is optional.
N is optional relatives.
N is optional always in the
Oh.
negation of a
Okay.
adverbial sentence or like a first present, the what Leighton calls the durative construction, or what everybody else calls the bipartite construction. You don't necessarily need to have the N. It kind of went through an analogous history to like ne pas in French, where you can leave off the initial. Late Egyptian started adding this on to negated adverbial sentences, and then by the time you get to Coptic, it on has really become the dominant marker of the negation, and the initial N has become sort of optional. Actually, the same thing happened in English. Like go not came from, I think, somebody who knows more about the history of English, correct me, but it was like nego nicht or something. It was like the not was actually added at the end for emphasis, and then eventually the initial particle got totally lost. And now in modern English, we only have that like post-pended not as the negation. So a lot of languages do this. It's pretty common.
I'm sure it's in the book somewhere. I just missed it or forgot it.
Yeah, no worries. It's a good question. Why do we have ete here? And I'll open this up to anyone. Why ete and not et?
Maybe it's feminine.
Nope. It's a good thought. That's often a very reliable pattern. Where's the previous? I'm in lesson 20. Could not preview file. Great. I'm gonna actually show y'all in the book if I can ever find it. Where is the book? It's this. So it uses ete when it's negated. So it's that ete.
Right.
It's a negation. Oh my gosh, where is the thing? Okay. Okay. Any other questions about this group of 4 before we go to the next one? All right, in that case, Rasmus.
Sure. So 13 is person et namoref peskema, which is the brother whom we shall make a monk.
Yeah.
Literally to bind to the habit.
Yeah, bind, probably with the habit or in the habit, but yeah, the brother whom we will bind in the habit. So the brother who we will induct as a monk. Okay.
Right, and 14, perro et bod ebol hetef, the king from whom we are fleeing.
Yeah, good. The king whom we flee out front of him.
Out from his front, yeah.
Yeah.
15, pet one and mbal and baleu. That was difficult.
Yeah, it's weird.
He who is
I actually
open-
don't know how to pronounce this. Beleu? Beleu? I guess it has a glottal stop. I don't know.
Oh,
Beleu.
right, yeah, okay. So the guy who, or the one who is opening the eyes of the blind ones.
Yeah, good.
And 16 is Rome et Efgote and Nemau, the men with whom he is hanging.
Yeah, good.
That
Literally.
he is surrounding himself with them.
Yeah, yeah. The men he goes around with them.
Yeah.
The men he goes around with. Yeah, good. Okay. Any questions about those 4?
No.
All right. Going back to Eric. Eric, do you want to do 4 more?
Sure. I hope this isn't in blue for a reason. Okay.
It is. It's in blue because it reminded me of a song, and I put a link to a YouTube video of the song.
Okay. Okay. And Chaje etuesh sot mu. So in Chaje is the words which I want to hear.
Yeah.
I have to hear them literally. I wasn't sure about the hyphen there. Why is there a hyphen with want and to hear?
I think Lambda just wants to not confuse you by like making too long a phrase. And real Coptic texts, or at least modern typeset Coptic texts, will often have this hyphen. So it's kind of the same hyphen that when I show like 2 forms of a preposition, like, you know, en and na, it's kind of this hyphen.
Okay.
Because this is well, actually even better, it's the hyphen that you see if we have all the principal parts of this verb, wesh and wash, I think. Yeah, it's that hyphen.
Oh, so it's using the infinitive as basically an object of the want.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
that's kind of why even though it seems really pedantic when I talk about the fact that these truly are infinitives and the like the first present is really an adverbial sentence. This is why that matters, because it means that you can actually take that and use it as an infinitive in a bunch of other cases, because it literally means their hearing. Right. So the words which I am upon their hearings wanting, literally. The words which I am upon their hearings wanting. Yeah, it's a bit messy, but that's what it says.
That's right. Texusia etere penute nataas naf. The power which the Lord will give to him.
Yeah, I'm going to correct you on Lord, even though I know what you mean. There is a word that the distinction between Lord and God is maintained in Coptic in the same way that it is in English.
Okay. So which the Lord, Tenute.
The
And that's
god.
the article?
Yeah, with the article, it's the god, but it's kind of like the word Allah in like an Islamic or Arabic Christian context. It's like God with a capital G. Although there are Coptic texts that do refer to like older Egyptian gods, and they will also say like the god, like the god whose name is Osiris. Tenute.
Okay, great.
What do you say?
Okay.
Tenute,
That helps.
etetefan.
Okay. Tepistis et kina emos hen. You told me about this. It's te sehime.
Yeah, good. Tisime.
So the faith which I find, literally, I find it in this woman, the faith which I
Good.
find in this woman.
Yeah.
Tetraompe etek nanau eros. The dove which you will see it, literally, the dove which you will see.
Yeah, great. Okay, good job, Eric. Joe?
All right. Number 21, Teshtain etet nuja mas ebal. The tunic which y'all are throwing away.
Yeah, good. Kind of nice how this idiom works in English and Coptic. Nuja evol.
Yeah. Okay, number 22, Netafna epitima now. Let's see, that one, I took that as those whom he will rebuke them.
Yes, very good. Yep. Those whom he will rebuke.
And yeah, number 23, Pomisterion etofna cholapuf nan ebol. The mystery which he will reveal to us.
Yeah. Okay. Cholep. I just really like the word cholep because it literally means like what you do with a jar with a lid on it. It's like uncap, but then metaphorically it means to reveal. So that's kind of fun.
How is that one different then from something like won? The other word in the.
So won is open, and it's as broad as the English word open. So you open a door, or you can I don't know, what can you open? You could like open a bag or a door, or
Can
like
something like.
presumably, yeah, a can, and like maybe a bank account. I don't know, but it's broad in its meaning in that same way. It's like anything that was once closed in whatever sense and is now being opened. Like I imagine if Coptic had survived as a living language to the present day, that would probably be the word that Coptic would use for like turn on the TV. It would probably be won. It would probably be like every single possible meaning of open. Whereas cholep is actually a little more precise. It's like uncover, or like take a covering off of something.
Okay, thanks. I'm noting that in my book. Okay. Number 24. Pei etuna roku nchi matoi. The house which the soldiers, they will burn it.
Yeah.
So the house which the soldiers will burn.
The house which the soldiers will burn. Surprisingly, not the darkest sentence in these exercises. So stay tuned. It gets worse. Okay, good job, Joe. Mustafa, do you want to take 4?
Yeah. Psa. Psah etna owacht en sof, the scribe, which I will repeat after him.
Repeat? Oh, it can mean repeat. Okay, yeah, but in this case, it's not repeat, it's or add or anything. It's like place. The scribe which I will place, and then this T
Okay.
is important.
Which I place after him.
Which I place what?
Which I place after him, and sof means.
After him, yeah. But this T, what does this T mean?
I don't remember, to be honest.
It's the first person singular suffix pronoun.
First
Or
person singular
direct
suffix
object pronoun, but yeah.
Okay. I don't know meaning if there
The
is.
scribe which I will place myself after him.
Yeah, something like reflexive.
Yep. And then remember that this idiom wo and sa means to follow.
Okay.
So it's the scribe, or sorry, the teacher whom I will follow.
Yeah, the teacher whom I follow. Well, yeah, I follow after him.
Good. Yeah. Okay. 26.
Mijeu enjijewe et kote et tempolis, enemies whose whom actually enemies who seize our city, who are
Not seize.
seize our city.
Kote?
Yeah, turn.
Yeah. So
Actually,
any meaning of turn.
it's not so logical. Okay.
It
The
can be
enemies who turn to our city.
yeah. So that can mean
Actually,
the
I don't
enemies
get it.
who. It can mean the enemies who are
I-
returning to our city, or the enemies who are
Yeah.
surrounding our city, or the enemies who are turning toward our city. So they're, it can mean any number of these things. Like, here's our city. Let's have some little towers. I don't know. That's a terrible looking city. But so the enemies are like, they're going away and then they come back, or the enemies are like surrounding, or the enemies are like going this way, but then they turn. It can mean any of these things.
Yeah, get it. Pebema. Pebema. Etef nacheratef hijov, the platform which he will stand on it.
Yeah, good. The platform which he will stand on it. Okay.
Net peyraze moten, those who tempting meten to you. Actually not.
Yeah, that's correct. Those who tempt y'all.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Good job, Mustafa. I'm gonna just keep rolling along so we don't run out of time. Ralph.
So the fire which God will cast upon the land
Yeah, good. And you get another song
Tesme.
reference in here, so that's fun.
Tesme et sotemeros, the voice you listen to.
Yeah. More specifically,
Etere is. I mean, etere is feminine singular, right?
yeah, exactly. The voice which you
Etere
listen
sotem.
to.
Which you listen to, the voice you listen to. Immatoi et narcotic epahu. The soldiers who will kotek back, return for you.
Keep in mind that kota can also be used transitively. So all those examples I showed a couple minutes ago, and then in addition, it can have a direct object.
They will bring you back.
Yeah. Yeah, or turn you back.
Turn
Either
you
one
back.
really.
Oh yeah.
So it could be like,
Turn you away.
yeah, if you're like trying to conquer a fortress and there's a bunch of soldiers, like those are the ones who are going to turn you back. So you need to, take them out or whatever. Or return you could also be correct. I think Coptic would probably use ina for that, like bring you back. But
So
I think
so it's maybe more like turn away or
I think so. Yeah.
send you somewhere. And pahuite and bere etes na shopef. So is that the new hyena?
Yeah.
Which she will shopef. She will I can't remember what shopez choose or
You don't remember what shop means, Ralph?
oh buy. We just talked about
Yeah.
that. Okay.
I know. It's
Yeah,
okay.
okay.
I mean, there's a reason
The new hyena she's gonna
do
buy.
things.
To get
There's a
fed
reason we do
something
things
like
more than once.
Right.
The new hyena that she's going to buy. So like
That she's
the
going to
current
buy.
hyena is just old and busted. So we're in the market for a new hyena, and this is the one that we really have our eye on. It has everything that we're looking for in a hyena. It never stops being funny to me. It's such a dumb joke, but I enjoy it every single time. Rasmus,
It's
do you
good.
want to read? Do you want to read 4?
Sure. So 33 is net pohet mo en nahrak, which would be those who are bowing themselves in your presence.
Yeah, good. This in Nahrak, it has this hair in it, which is this. It's the face word.
Oh, right.
So
yes.
like,
Her.
it's like before you, but it's in your presence, but then before you. So like you can imagine,
To
like,
your face, yeah.
like an important, like noble type person, and then what this word pohet actually means most often in Egyptian texts is something like this. So bow is really not a great translation because they didn't do
Prostrate.
bowing. Yeah, prostrate. I always translate it as kowtow because it gives me an
Kowtow.
opportunity to say the word kowtow,
Yeah.
which is really fun. So yeah.
Right. So 34 is te grape epistewe eros, which would be the writing or the scripture in which I believe.
Yeah, good.
35 Chat eterepshere naherof. Then that would be the money which the boy will find.
Yeah, good. Literally. What does mean literally?
Find to come.
What is
Isn't that find? Is it bring?
This is fall.
Fall. Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
I didn't remember that.
No, that's why we talk about it. So the money or the silver which the boy will literally like fall upon it, but then idiomatically find.
Right. 36 then is Prome et kjost ehun eron, the man who is looking in at us or to us.
Yeah, good. That in like choshet hun is like a little more. It's like with more scrutiny,
Yeah.
more deliberate. Yeah, so the man who is like
Perusing
gazing
us.
into us, yeah, perusing us. He's the abyss. He's gazing into us. Yeah, whatever. Fenchurch? Fenchurch? No, we don't. Because it's annoying. Okay. Eric, do you want to read 4?
Okay. Pemain etuna uon hef evol.
Good.
And here, I think it works better as a passive, the sign which will be revealed. Does that work? The
Yeah,
sign
it does.
reveal it, or the sign which will be revealed is better.
Yeah, I think the passive works better. The sign which will be revealed. But you were right to say which they will reveal.
Okay.
Yeah, literally, and more, more smoothly, I guess.
Tessime etefme emos. The woman, literally whom he loves her, the woman whom he loves.
Yeah, good. The woman whom he loves.
And here I had
39.
a little trouble with the last word here. Pesmot etef uon hef emof evol en hetef. And I wasn't sure about that. So it's the appearance or the manner in which he reveals himself.
Yes, that's exactly correct.
But I
The
wasn't
manner in which he reveals himself.
quite sure how to make this. I mean, that's the only structure I could make of this. So that it's literally the manner which he reveals him, emof, and then it's evol hetetef. I wasn't sure how that worked.
Yeah, I'm trying to do it with colors so we can actually see. So it is reflexive. So it's, and because we have this F here at all, that tells us that there's at least 2 entities, right? This F cannot possibly refer to the smot because we wouldn't have a pronoun if so, right? The presence of the pronoun tells us that there's another entity. So the manner which he, Wona Imolf, reveals himself, and then evolen hate is basically like the English word through. It can be translated a few different ways, but it's like by means of it or as it or something. So this is the way you read it, and I think this is correct.
Great, that helps. Thank you, the diagram. Yeah.
There is an alternative that I will also show, which is to say the manner which he reveals it, namely the manner, through himself. The manner which he reveals through himself is also a possible reading of this. I think the first one is correct though, because it makes more sense to me.
Okay.
Yeah, but when you have multiple like masculine singular things and a bunch of Fs, normally like after reading enough Coptic text, you kind of won't notice anymore because you'll just get a feel for which pronoun refers to which thing. And we do this in spoken English all the time too. Like a father and his son went fishing and he gave him a new fishing rod and he caught a fish and showed it to him. Like just hearing that, you like have a sense it's like, okay, it's the father giving the fishing rod because that's the way that normally works. And then it's the son showing his father the fish, because that's the way that normally works. And it's just sort of intuitive. So yeah, with experience, you'll be able to just parse that without fretting too much.
I had a little question on this last one as well, but let me try. Naho etena nesteue en hetu. So it's the days, plural days. And here it's a question is it a plural or not? And I wasn't sure. So it's the days on which you fast on
So
them?
you need to put an extra
will
N in
fast.
here.
Yeah, or will fast on, okay.
Yeah,
So the
will
not,
fast.
will fast, it is the plural. So this is the relative of the first future. And so I guess this isn't, I'm confused about why there's not an additional N with a superlinear stroke.
Yeah, so this is just kind of a conventional thing. The two N's get squished into one.
There you go. Okay. So it is a future.
Yes, and
Okay.
you're reading it correctly. It's just weird that there's a missing N, but this is a known thing. It's just a thing that happens.
Okay. Great.
So the days in which
You will.
y'all will fast.
Right. Yeah. Great.
Okay. All right. Let's get some more. Let's do some more. Why not? I see a missing period here, I think. Okay. Joe.
All right, number 1. La'o and Shaja etik nachin to page oma. Mangled that one probably. Number 1, do not
fine.
change. Oh, thanks. Do not change any of the words which you will find in this book.
Good. Yeah, exactly correct. I don't know about y'all, but I feel like these kind of sentences are actually much easier to read than the little short phrases, because it all just kind of clicks together. Do not change anything of the words which you will find them in this book. Yeah.
Yeah, after 40 of the first section, I got to the second one and I saw that first word and I thought, okay, these are going to be a lot tougher, but connected sentences are easier, once they make more sense more easily. Number 2, al nach mysterion un wonach Nathan. This is not as easy as I thought. A great mystery appears to y'all.
Yeah, and what's happening here? What is al noch?
When I looked at this before, I got the idea like unoch, a great. I'm not sure about the owl there.
So this
Whether
is
that's the same
this is the subject of the sentence. This whole thing,
thing.
unoche mysterion, so a great mystery, and then this is the preterite marker and the verb. So these two things are wrapped around the subject. So a great mystery, past tense.
Appeared.
Yeah, appeared to y'all.
To y'all.
And then translating wonach when it's used intransitively like this is always difficult. But a lot of translations will say like a great mystery was revealed to y'all. Or you could say appeared. It's like manifested. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
wonach.
revealed. I like there. Okay. Let's see. Number 3. Mpeha'u et mao se nacholep ebol nchi nshaje penjois. So on that day, or in that day, the words of our Lord will be revealed. se
Yeah.
na chola.
Yeah, literally, like they will uncover, namely the words of our Lord, or they will, yeah, be revealed. However, you have to do that.
Yeah.
In English. Yeah.
Okay, number 4. Avshev tef nchi pediabolos pesmot u n uangelos puwain. Let's see. The devil changed into the form of an angel of light.
Yeah. Correct translation. I personally think this hem is incorrect. I think the Coptic sentence is slightly incorrect because it doesn't read naturally to me. I'm going to have to look for an example like this to see what a real Coptic sentence says. This seems like it's saying the devil changed himself from the form of an angel of light. But I'm not totally sure about that, but your translation is good. The most likely reading of this is the devil changed himself into the form of an angel of light.
This might be, or this seems like it's 1 Corinthians 11:14. Satan himself masquerades as, or appears as an angel of light. So that might be what he's thinking of there.
Yeah, let me see if I can find. I'm having trouble opening this PDF file, so let me see. You say 1 Corinthians?
2 Corinthians 11:14.
2 Corinthians.
Yeah.
I can't actually see what I'm typing. Oh, I'm typing in Coptic. Great. And I misspelled it. So 2 Corinth, is that what I called it? I called these books something weird by accident when I was making this. Yeah, 2 Corinthians 11:14. This is Bohairic. What? Oh, so it's very different
Wow.
in this translation. Let's see. Let's actually see the Bohairic might help because it uses the same verb. Satan himself changes himself in the form of an angel of light. That's pretty comparable, actually. It uses M in Bohairic, which is basically equivalent to hem. So yeah, sounds a little weird to me,
Right.
but I don't know. Okay, good job, Joe. Mustafa, you want to do 4 more?
Yeah. Afhon, Echon, Perro, Afpachtef, Avo, Mpefje, Lao, and Shaje. He approached back to the king.
Yeah, Honahun really go together. It's like
he-
approach to.
Okay. He approached to the king. He Pachtef means something. Pachtef, I don't know. Actually,
It's like it's like this thing that
Avo
I mentioned.
Mpefje. Okay. Pocht. It's another form of pocht. Then.
Yeah.
He bow down or he pay homage, something like.
Yeah.
And
Kowtow. Okay.
yeah. And Mpefje, he said it's a word of people.
Lao, you're thinking of Laos. Lao means like anything.
Okay. Then any words, something like
Yeah.
all the speech.
Yeah, he didn't say any words. So he approached the king,
Okay, and he didn't say-
prostrated himself, and he didn't say any words.
Okay.
Okay. We'll go to the next one. So we're running out of time.
Aște teisme et sotem eros. Aște teisme. What is it this sound which I heard which I heard,
Which I hear.
which I listened. Yeah, which I listen, which I hear.
Yep, good.
Aheratek enemai of obef stand
Mhm.
stand you stand with me, obef actually I don't know.
Against him.
Yeah, against you stand with me against him.
Yep, good.
Afti Hiof and Tisheten en as entai nojes ebol. Afti he gave to gave on he gave on it on him shitan, the old garment,
Mhm.
which and which he actually it's something passive, and
Nope.
which I
Mhm.
throw it away.
Yeah.
Let me sum up. He gave on him all the old garment, which I throw it away.
Yeah. He put on the old shirt that I threw away.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. We'll just keep going so we don't run too far over time. Ralph.
In Takimi, in Pijome and Naston. Where did you find this old book?
Yeah, good.
So in
What
talk
kind
is
of
the second past.
Man, it's like it's so bad how predictable I am. That's amazing.
Because it's a question,
You-
yes.
You probably know when I'm going to talk to my cat in the middle of the class at this point. Amazing.
Aurato in Pemto evol impinoque enero. They stood before the great king.
Yeah. And Pemto Evol.
So in the presence of, in the impto,
Yeah.
before
in
the
Impto.
impto,
Exactly.
in the right.
In the Impto.
Of Jos in Capeheloche, Twonig pasere. Toneg pasere. Imper pahet. Sorry.
Okay.
Impa erpatek intehe.
Good.
So the old man said, "Get up, my child. Don't I don't know what pahetic is, but don't pahetic. Don't don't do that yourself in this way. So don't be lazy.
It's a pohet. Pohet means it's like prostrate. You prostrate oneself.
Oh, the same one we're talking about. So get up,
Yeah.
don't bow, don't prostrate yourself that way.
Yeah.
Okay, enlightened kings.
Yeah.
Now. Okay. Tetanau inete impetinau ero shapo. So they will see those who, oh, sorry, you will see those, you plural, will see those who you all didn't see before now.
Now?
Or until today.
Until today, yeah. Y'all will see things that y'all didn't see before today.
Or today. There we
So
go.
there's some kind of show about to happen.
And this
Science
is
of wonders.
another example of the N that's collapsed.
Yes, it should be
Mm.
tetin na
Great.
now, but it's just tetin now.
Perfect.
Yeah, very good. I think what happens is that this tetin is so like immediately recognizable as you plural that you don't really lose anything to say tetnanal versus tetinanal. It's just so clear. It can only mean one thing, so it can kind of get abbreviated a little bit without losing meaning.
But it survives in the negative, the impetin now.
Yep.
I guess because you
well,
don't have the now. Nah,
right, like the now is a separate like lexical element. I guess tetna, it also is a separate lexical element, but they're so frequently together. Whereas impetin now is really, you're taking impetin and you're sticking it onto now. So they're not like they're not as nicely linked to one another. But yeah.
Tetna.
Rasmus.
Sure. 13, which is Sinarok hen unok kohet pehu edemau. That was different. So that would mean they will burn you in a great fire on that day, on the day that is there. Or rather, perhaps in the passive, you will be burned.
Yeah. Interestingly, still not the darkest. No, I'm kidding. That is definitely the darkest sentence. Maybe in the whole book. I don't know why that is in here. It's a little violent for a language study book, but there it is. Yeah. You will be burned in a great fire on that day. Wow.
So 14 is autonu, aukotu echrai beutime, which then would be they arose and they returned up to their village.
Or
what? Down or down?
Yeah. Depends on whether their village is on a tell or in a valley.
Yeah.
Weird
word.
Yeah, it's so weird.
So 15 is empef kotef e ale e peojoi. So I think literally it's he did not repeat to go up onto their boat, but I guess we would say he did not again get up on the boat.
Yeah, he didn't get back on the boat.
Yeah. And 16, Emperkotek e shache en nai en lauen Rome. Do not repeat. Do not repeat these words to anyone.
Shache?
Is shache to say?
Yeah.
Do not again say to anyone these words or these things.
Never say that to anyone ever again. Yeah. Do not return yourself to speak these to any person. Yeah. So whatever you just said, I don't know, it must have been really awful.
Mm.
Because someone responded with, never ever say that again. Anyway, okay, so thank you everyone for doing those exercises, and then we'll just go pretty quickly through lesson 20. There's quite a few new things in here, so I will suggest that after we go through it quickly, you go back and review again. But the first thing we're going to learn about is the inflective infinitive, what's normally called the causative infinitive, and ultimately where this comes from. It's kind of fun. It comes from like dit,
What?
iri, dit, ir, and then some kind of suffix pronoun, and then verb, right? So like if whatever the verb is, I don't know. I have to think of a verb. Let's use
Sejim?
sejim.
Yeah.
Z is fine too, but it's just the example right next to you. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, hey guys, this is like way harder than you think. This whole like I don't know. I'm just making excuses for myself. It's obviously sejim is the right choice.
It's just hard to draw an ear.
It's so ugly, my drawing. I'm genuinely ashamed of it, but we're gonna go with it because it matches the one that we have here. So I need to practice my own calligraphy pages so I can get better at drawing that ear. Mine is not good. Anyway, okay, so literally what it means is to cause his doing hearing, right? So prasotem is like to cause my doing hearing. So it is a causative infinitive. It can be used to express a causative meaning. But most of the time it's used in grammatical constructions where that causative meaning has kind of been lost or like subsumed under the more like the dominant thing being expressed by the construction itself. So we'll see some examples in just a little bit. But there are all the forms. You can see all of the suffix pronouns that you know and love. Yeah, they're all just like you
I
would
have a
think.
question though.
Yes, sir.
Why not S prefix like in Middle Egyptian? Is there any reason to, or is there any version of S prefix to causative?
Yeah, there is actually. You actually know a really common example of this in the word shaje. There it is. There's the X. There's the S.
I mean, it's as a causative form, like in Middle Egyptian, you know.
So you're saying, is it still, is adding an S to the beginning of a verb root still a productive?
Is there any version of this grammatical section or other?
It gets replaced by the T causative.
Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens.
Maybe,
it gets replaced by a new type of causative.
I wonder, is there any version of other Coptic dialects like S prefix for causative?
Don't think so. I mean,
okay.
I think I can pretty safely say no. I mean, you never know, right? Like maybe there's one village somewhere where people still used it, but none of the recorded Coptic dialects still use it. It was dead long before Coptic. Even in like late Egyptian, we have some words like sa'ah, which becomes shanash in Coptic. In late Egyptian, this word already means like to nourish, like to provide food for a child or something. It no longer means like cause to live literally. So these the S causatives long before Coptic are already kind of becoming fossilized as new verbs with specific unique meanings. And then the construction where you use D, like give or cause, becomes the dominant way of expressing, of converting a verb into a causative. And then this is like a more extended version of that. It's cause that someone give. And interestingly, this is a remnant of a Sejm F form, like the perspective Sejm F. I think perspective Sejm F. Forgive me if I misremembered that. So yeah, so there's some cool etymology to this. The one thing I wanted to add is that it's negated with tem. So I don't think we've seen tem much before, but with these really elaborate, like very paraphrastic verbal constructions where you have a bunch of different things being added together and then they kind of just get squished into one form, those tend to be negated with tem. So that's kind of a general rule. We'll definitely talk more about that in the future as we see more examples. But just for now, the causative infinitive is negated with tem. Then we'll look at some examples of how you would use this. So for instance, here's a sentence without a causative infinitive that you can read based on everything we've seen so far. So diwosh echo impema. So I want to stay in this place. And then with a causative, you could have something like tiwosh etrekcho impema. So I want to cause that you do stay in this place, literally, but I want you to stay in this place. So it's a way of expressing this like result type construction, but with a different subject from the main verb. So these kind of express the same thing, but here there's no subject whatsoever. It's just the bare infinitive. So it just copies that. Here there actually is one, and it requires this construction to get it in there, and it's different from this one, right? So kind of two different ways of constructing the same thing. And then Lambden mentions below here that it's also possible to say tiwosh etracho impema. So you can actually say like, I want that I stay in this place, just like you can in English. You can say like, I want me to stay here. Although it's just a little awkward. You normally say, I want to stay here. Coptic kind of works the same way. So it's used in all these different constructions where it's just really not a causative meaning anymore. So here, the first example is like a purpose clause or a result clause. Really both use the same construction. So apewoish jokevol etrenvokevol. So the time has come for us to leave. And then more examples like that you can read.
Okay, Zone. I just needed to move my legs.
Ralph, do you know you're not
Oh,
muted?
sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. Trying to get out from under the cat.
What's your cat's name?
Zoe.
Oh, what did you just call her?
We call her Zoe for short. The animal.
Okay. Gotcha. Nice. That's a good nickname. I assume she's named after Eve in the Coptic version of Genesis. And I will continue to assume that. You don't have to correct me. Okay, anyway. So the causative infinitive can be like nominalized in this construction. So hemp pref Moshe, so is literally like in his walking, in his walking. So you have this thing in Coptic where the infinitive with a suffix pronoun is like objective. So like we saw a bunch of examples like ak pahtek, you prostrated yourself. It's literally like ak pahtek. I'm just going to write things because that's the whole point of this whole contraption. This is you did your kowtowing, right? So normally when it's like possessed, when the infinitive is possessed, it becomes the object. So we need a way in Coptic to create an infinitive that kind of has the subject built in, and we use the causative to do that. So in his walking is constructed with tref Moshe. And then in practice, this means something like while he was walking. So in his walking, he saw a house, right? And that means obviously the equivalent of like while he was walking. You see this a lot with ashopede. Ashopede, him tref shemshe, him perve. So it happened in his worshiping in the temple, etc. Also used with a few other constructions like menensa tra now at all, after my seeing them, or after I saw them, etc. And then another thing, so 20.2, this is kind of a new thing, but they actually do kind of dovetail nicely. We're talking about these impersonal expressions, and they're really, really intuitive because we do the same kind of thing in English. So hapes, it is necessary, hapes etrem potevo. So we need to leave. It is necessary that we flee. And then you have other constructions that are also this, what is it called? Impersonal, these other impersonal expressions. So when chom is a normal way of saying like, it is possible, men chom, it is not possible. But then this is also the way that Coptic expresses ability a lot of the time. So men chom and mon at imi is like, we can't know. There is no ability for us to know. And then with the causative infinitive, men chom emon etren imi. You don't need the emon. So there is no ability to cause that we do knowing, etc. Eshe, it is appropriate. It's appropriate for him to go inside. He should go inside is actually what that means. So this is roughly the equivalent of the English word should. It expresses the way things ought to be. It's how Coptic constructs it. And then era naf is it pleased him. So as era naf. So it pleased him to come into this world, etc. And then there's one more different thing here that we also have to learn about, and it's this, it's kind of like a verb, peje and peja. So peje, as you're probably aware by now, is the pre-nominal form, and peja is the pre-pronominal. The most common thing you'll see is pejaf. This is a really common word in Coptic texts. So pejaf naija, he said to me, and then quote, you see that all the time in Coptic. It is the descendant of a phrase in earlier Egyptian that is like pa ijed. Sorry, I left out the e. Why is it not clearing? Okay.
Ramsat period.
Yeah. Pa ijed. My handwriting has gone totally to nothing. Okay. So pa ijed, that which said, and then I could say like, let's use F. That which he said. Pa ijed F. So this is one of the rare Coptic remnants of a Sejm F form. This is the relative Sejm F from late Egyptian. So yeah, that's kind of cool. And this is just a really common word. Pejafna, he said to me. And then there's some infinitive paradigms that you can just read and get familiar with. As I always say with these infinitives, it's kind of like the principal parts of verbs in English. Like technically, the proper parts are swim, swam, swum. But I don't think I've ever heard someone literally say swum in my entire life. So the principal parts in Egyptian are kind of like that too. Like there are regular rules for forming them that theoretically could be the way they work. And then there's just a whole bunch of variation that you kind of just get used to with practice. This one paradigm, so the reduplicated paradigm, is actually really reliable and kind of neat because it shows us something about stress patterns in Coptic. So in the absolute form, this word is obviously carries its own stress. and then the stress is on the first syllable. In the pre-nominal form, it has no stress at all because the noun that follows actually gets the stress. So neither of those is stress, and they're both short vowels. And then in the pre-pronominal form, you're going to add a pronoun here, which is actually going to create another syllable. So instead of being here, the stress actually gets pulled back in the word. And this is a general rule of stress in Egyptian. It tends to fall on the penultimate syllable unless something very special is going on to allow it to be further forward in the word. So it falls on the penultimate syllable or on the ultima. And if it's on the antepenult or before, it's going to get either lost or dragged back in the word. And we see that happening here very clearly. So here we have a stressed vowel and a closed syllable, probably an A-type vowel. And then with the vowel shifts and everything, that becomes omicron. So, stressed A-type vowel and closed syllable becomes omicron. And then here we have stressed A-type vowel in open syllable because the consonant, the final consonant is made part of the suffix syllable. So it becomes omega. So you can actually see a lot of like the history of Egyptian phonology encapsulated in the forms of that verb. They're also very, very regular. So if you see a reduplicated verb where you have kind of the same consonantal pattern twice, it will probably have this very reliable behavior of its vowel paradigm. These are some weirdos after that just kind of do their own thing. And then vocabulary homework. So yeah, are there any questions about lesson 20?
I don't know. Yeah, not.
No, you don't know yet. Go back and read, post questions in Discord, send me emails, whatever you need to do. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you all next week.
All right, thanks.
Okay.
See you next week.
Good week, everyone.
Or later tonight or today when I do Assassin's Creed streaming. So yeah. All right. Bye, everyone.
See ya.
Bye.